any fight and be that frontliner. Instead, they actually go how you were talking about there, Rob. They actually grab that Nautilus again just to make sure they're going to have this insane pairing for Kalista.
Yeah, and super nice just for point-and-click CC, right? If you're in Aphelios, the worst thing you can imagine is trying to play safe behind someone, suddenly a death charge gets blocked on top of you. Now you've got Rookie coming in with the Heartbreaker, Shun coming in with that Nightfall, or the Moonfall even as well. Like, it's a very difficult time to try and get away from a lot of what IG are doing if you're not able to kite back and try and use the guns that Aphelios has available. So I think for Betty, he'll definitely need to be trying to avoid Lucas when it comes towards these engagements. But on Rogue Warrior's side, we've kind of got a bit of a mixed bag, right? You've got two champions that kind of become the dive components of this comp, where LeBlanc, Nocturne looking for those flanks, trying to get aggressive on towards the likes of Wink on this Kalista in the back line. And then you've got the rest of follow-through damage, that later game scaling coming through from the Aphelios for the likes of neny, for Shun, who are going to be trying to dive the back line of Rogue Warriors.
Exactly, and who knows how easy it's going to be for the side of IG to actually be able to stick onto Betty with a Thresh on the other side. As long as QiuQiu is in a great position, that's one of the reasons why Aphelios Thresh has been this powerful bot lane, just for the reposition tool that Thresh provides to the mobility that Aphelios has built into his kit.
And he's going to have to be on point as well, because as we said, like an aggressive bot lane, especially when you hit 6 for the Kalista Nautilus, depth charge, Fate's Call, so much engage, and then you just pair the most CC in the game on Nautilus with that, it becomes really, really hard to deal with. So I think especially when we're talking about, hey, look, we want to see IG trying to put a little bit more resources in towards that bottom lane, I think this is the perfect composition to do so, right? Sett, perfectly fine to go for this play in the top side, just keep himself as that weak side top laner, and have Shun, especially when he hits 6, play towards Rookie, play towards that bottom lane, utilize the fact that you can set this Aphelios behind and make him essentially negligible when it gets towards those mid to late game fights.
But that's going to be the thing, whether they can actually accomplish the deed or not. Diving onto the Rift, it is week 5, day 1, first series to kick off our halfway point through the summer split. Rogue Warriors and Invictus Gaming will battle it out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this new look for Rogue Warriors is actually going to look like, because ZDZ or ZDZ, this is going to be really hard for me to say. Here's another word. Here's another letter that people don't realize Irish people say different. It's Z, not Z. So I don't know if I say ZDZ, but that sounds a bit weird to me. But yeah,
just say
ZDZ anyway.
Just say ZDZ.
Yeah, is definitely, like, I'm excited to see, especially in this matchup against neny. He should have a reasonably alright time, but IG going for this full invade on bot side. This is exactly what I wanted to see. We talk about, hey, look, IG, you know, playing around this bottom half of the map. Well, if you end up in a split map scenario like this, it's going to be great. Now, Fofo tries to steal away some of them. I think he maybe got Raptor there. It's not the end of the world. You'll still see Shun being able to work through this bottom side and allowing Wink and Lucas to punish the matchup that they have in the bottom lane.
And despite the fact that Forge was able to steal away one of those chickens, he loses out priority mid lane to Rookie. And I'm almost wondering if it's going to be a full clear from Shun, or if he just wants to be able to try to triple buff his opponent, try to see if he can book it immediately towards his own red buff, deny so much for XiaoHao. Say, welcome to the LPL, bud. You're not getting anything today.
Now, I think basically they're going to opt into a full split map, and then when we get this reset from Shun, probably going to try and use the pressure that Wink and Lucas have to invade onto this bottom side again, especially if Rookie's able to come in tow. But Lucas, taking a bit of a hook there, does get a little bit of a trade back.
Yeah, a lot more damage on to QiuQiu in that bot lane.
Oh, Choji.
Betty, they don't realize this either, do they? You can already see that Shun, he's waiting. He's biding his time to see if they're going to look for this dive, or look for this play. But the fact that there's not really that big of a minion wave built up, I think this is the right call from Shun. Peeling off completely as, wait a minute. XiaoHao, why haven't you gone to get the red buff?
Yeah, I think he's going for his grub now. I should be swinging around, but you even see Rookie, like, trying to see if he can spot him out now.
Yeah.
Actually just going to miss the timing, so as Rookie comes back to lane, XiaoHao will actually get scared until Rookie shows up mid lane, but we'll actually be able to make a cross. So it's not the end of the world. We'll still get that full clear, and we'll be able to back it up as well. No real pressure towards that top side. He can get the Rift Scuttler as well. So complete split map here. And again, it's trying to enable Wink on this bottom half of the map.
Yeah, I got a little worried there for XiaoHao. No, XiaoHao. Okay, maybe, no. I'm torn on this one because I see that he wants to be able to make sure that he can ensure the scuttle crab. And but he gets lucky. He gets lucky that Shun sees no raptors and decides instead to just go get the scuttle crab so they can play around the bot lane that they had drafted to be able to facilitate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the cleanest clear from XiaoHao. A lot of wasted time kind of going back and forth here, but it does mean that because Shun kind of expected him to have that clear path, he gets away with it. So XiaoHao now should be able to pick up this red. We'll move over towards Raptors. Now, you're not going to be able to look for any sort of dive at the moment, but certainly I wouldn't mind seeing if we could try and get some sort of pressure from Shun down towards this bottom lane. But unfortunately, because Rookie doesn't have pressure in this mid lane, they always have to be afraid of Forge, who can TP to that bot side faster and being able to turn around some of these plays, especially on a LeBlanc. You're so potent when you TP into these sorts of skirmishes.
Especially on someone as squishy as Wink, with them trying to play aggressively onto Betty and QiuQiu, keep them pushed underneath the turret. But you have to be so careful. It's now neny had to flash away. Haymaker shield to be able to survive. He wants to be able to throw back on XiaoHao, but there's a lot of damage coming in from the Flame Spitter to take first blood solo topside.
Nice job from XiaoHao, although bot side, we might be getting an answer.
Might be able to get Shun going for the dive. There's the early heal from Betty and QiuQiu trying to see if they can thwart the potential dive from IG. It will be enough to dissuade them, so no answer going to be successful for IG just yet.
Yeah, with Lucas taking that first burst of damage right as the wave was coming in, means he's not tanky enough to actually absorb a lot of the damage from the turret. And as we talked about, the potential for Forge to come down, hooks from QiuQiu underneath makes it really difficult to try and go for these dives. Gravitum for Betty as well. So they decide to back it off. So XiaoHao getting onto the rift, getting that first kill in his first game of the LPL.
Yeah, you know, I will take that. If you're a new jungler, it's your first game, and you're facing off against IG, and you're able to get first blood like that pretty cleanly, even though he did have to expend his flash to be able to survive, that's a good little bit of a lead they're getting on the top side of the map. They already had ZDZ getting a nice shove into neny to make it so that this Nocturne is going to be able to look for these early skirmish plays so long as he's got the team to back him up and not have Lucas already rotating towards the top side.
Yeah, he needs to be very, very careful here. No vision for himself either, so may just get caught out here.
Right, he's playing cautiously though. I like this. Playing reserved, backing off, realizing, hey, we have no idea where not only the jungler is, but we already have no idea where Rookie is. So you got to be careful that there's a potential gank coming into you topside. Backed off immediately, stayed safe, but kind of similar thing you're seeing in the bot lane. Wink, he already was able to fully see XiaoHao starting to rotate towards that bot lane, so he's able to back off and stay safe.
And this is great for Rogue Warriors, right? You've already got a kill on the top side, and goes towards XiaoHao as well, who can start to move that around the jungle, or throughout the other lanes. You've got Forge, who's doing relatively well against rookies. ZDZ is doing great in that top side. And you're just buying time now for Betty to get to the late game. As if you're able to kind of keep this pace, you know, no dragons being taken, you're all right. You can then go, right, we have the opportunity to get Betty towards those 3 items and look to outscale. Whereas when you look at IG, they're the ones who certainly towards bottom lane are on a bit more of a timer, but do have their own options with the scaling, thanks to Rookie and also towards Shun, who can have that assassination potential towards Betty in the back line.
Ooh, yeah, we just hovered down to the bot lane, and Wink is incredibly low, and you can already see that XiaoHao is trying to see if they can threaten a dive with that nice control ward. Here's going to be the TP Paranoia attempted play, getting both flash and heal out of Wink immediately. It's already going to be burned, and now they're going to try to see if they can at least get something. They're already peeling back, might be able to immediately turn for the objective with some plates.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a trade of plates on that top side for that play as well. So a lot invested by Rogue Warriors, but unfortunately not able to get much from it. So now IG answer back. They're also in a position on this top side for the likes of the Rift Herald, unless Betty and QiuQiu start to recall and move their way up towards that. But again, like, I'm kind of happy here as Rogue Warriors, right? Although they invested a lot, you are getting plates on towards Bet. You are getting this dragon for yourselves as well, and that gold is going to pay dividends come the later points of the game.
I'd rather they play proactively than standing by idly and letting the game end without any sort of fight at all. This is great to see from them. I was expecting maybe that they'd be a little too passive and they'd be a little too timid to actually try to go for these plays immediately, especially for the first time top laner and first time jungler for Rogue Warriors, but they're looking for these plays. They're looking to see if they can exert some control over IG, especially into the bot lane that we had highlighted as being one of the spots that IG have started to put a lot more resources in to try to make sure that they're going to be able to bully in the mid game.
Well, we wanted to see it, right? But so far, we haven't really got one. Xun did try and go for this split map play, but wasn't quite able to make it work out, where Wink and Lucas got this major advantage. They try and go for the dive, but not able to make that work either. So it kind of feels like a lot of the time that's been placed into the spot side hasn't actually worked out for them thus far. And it's not even like IG have been able to find these early skirmishes down towards the bottom side of the map either, where they could look to use the priority that Wink and Lucas have. Instead, it's Rogue Warriors that are making play, forcing Wink and Lucas back, and they're the ones coming out with the Dragon as well. So another plays that IG could look to make around this strong bot side aren't actually being, are just being pushed by the wayside.
Yeah, they're not being proactive compared to how RW are. They're just the ones that are being far more proactive, looking for these plays. But the only problem is you can see how that's kind of translating into the gold. Despite the fact that we've seen a nice early kill coming in from XiaoHao, they were able to even try to threaten the dive, get both summoners out of Wink. They're starting to slowly find themselves in a deficit against some of the members on IG's side, especially when you look at the comparison between junglers.
Yeah, and well, look, level 6 now hit for both junglers, though. Xun definitely takes a level up when it comes towards the impact that he can have here. And again, I want to see this down towards the bottom half of the map. I want to see this pairing work. And unfortunately for Rookie, he hasn't been able to get out of lane too much, but hopefully now he'll have a little bit more freedom now that he has his own level 6, got a little bit more threat on towards Forge. And Forge being low on mana as well, he can push in this lane and move bot, but...
Might missed. Here's the equalizer, but look who's here. Moonfall going to be able to bring in QiuQiu, looking for the damage onto XiaoHao. They take him down, but it's traded back. Jungler for jungler. Wink trying to kite back with a lot of damage onto Betty, looking for the Ren. Going to be able to get the kill back on top of him. And QiuQiu, he's just trying to see if he can get the fight. He does get himself a double kill in the fight, but now it's the wet noodle fight as the flash comes in from the support to be able to survive.
But that's exactly what we wanted to see out from IG. Managing to turn around that gank from Rogue Warriors. You get a kill for Xun, you get a kill for Wink as well. You can even see the first the proto belt picked up for Xun as well in that jungle. So phenomenal that IG were able to get a little bit back on the board and get themselves back to gold even. And you can see it's Rogue Warriors to try to start off. Betty goes a little bit wide with the Moonlight Vigil, but Xun's here perfectly to set this up. Gets that Moonfall on towards 2, then manages to get the kill on towards XiaoHao. Costs his life, but it does set up then for Wink to follow through. Although, you know, QiuQiu too strong on the Thresh. He finishes off the Kalista as well.
He gets a nice old bop there with the chain. And we even got to see there's on the little camera feed that there was a solo kill, I believe, for neny over ZDZ.
Yeah.
Pretty much flexing that the top lane, it might have been won out early by the early shove of a Nocturne, but Sett eventually, this champion is a bit ridiculous.
Well, he's about to get even more ridiculous, right? Because Xun's going to plonk this Rift Tower up on top side. You've already got those 3 plates that are done. Rookie up here to support and kind of steal away a bit of the gold as well. So already we've got neny kind of opening up on towards the map. Means that you're going to be able to utilize him towards like potential plays in mid. Even if you want to try and open him up towards Dragon, that's in a minute as well. Like, you have a lot of advantages here for IG now that they can look to try and play through. Especially at this moment in time where we are hitting those one-item spikes for a lot of these champions where IG will be stronger.
We get to take a quick little replay, get to see that 1v1 duel.
Yeah, so usually Nocturne's actually pretty alright in this matchup because you can use the spell shield to stop the haymaker damage. But you can see there, just when he has the ultimate, neny's just far too strong. ZDZ isn't able to do anything, and he will end up falling. Now IG moving into position for the Dragon. You've got TP coming in from Rookie towards that mid lane. neny has a TP of his own, and ZDZ doesn't. So in theory, this should be an Invictus Gaming Dragon that they can pick up without much force.
At least if they're playing it to their advantage and playing with those timers wisely. You can see that Xun is hovering around the bottom half of the map, but Forge is also threatening to try to be able to be the first one to rotate and get into the backline. You had talked about that before. That is going to be the powerful thing here for Rogue Warriors if Forge can TP in behind and catch Invictus a little too far out.
I'm watching that timer from ZDZ. Looks like he might actually have that TP up just in the nick of time for Dragon, unless you see this instantly start up from IG, but they're still trying to make a play on bot side, trying to shove in that wave. So teleport will be up and available. Paranoia soon to follow as well. But looks like Rogue Warriors may not want to try and contest this now. They're going to get the resets coming in instead. So first dragon for IG of the game. But again, we kind of talk about, hey, look, if you're looking at these dragons as a point of contention, Rogue Warriors having that first one, now only the answered by IG, we're looking much later in the game before that dragon becomes a major factor Rogue Warriors have to worry about. And Betty should have his 3 items, that Infinity Edge, the Ruinous Hurricane, the Kraken Slayer picked up.
And once he's got that, he is going to be a powerhouse for the team that they can fall back onto and make sure they can keep him alive. The only problem I'm going to have with Rogue Warriors is how they play around these upcoming fights that are soon to ensue. Because if you have a good position from neny to be able to jump right on top of him, drag him back in the rest of Invictus, there goes all your damage that you put so much time and resources to make sure that he is doing fine in a difficult lane against Wink.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a weird one here, because I feel like for neny, I actually want to see neny using that ult defensively here to keep Wink alive, specifically trying to see if he can pull Forge out of these engagements. I think when you got Rookie and Shun who can play so aggressive towards that back line and play this assassination game with the Moonfall Heartbreaker combo, I think neny just needs to keep Wink safe and keep that consistent damage there. We might actually get to see it here, though, as Rookie's on the flank.
Look, that equalizer trying to split them apart, trying to see if he can dive into the back line. Going to be the Moonfall onto 2 members, getting a little bit of damage with the Moonlight coming in from the other side. They get the kill onto Lucas, but now they're trying to be able to get away. You just cannot escape from neny. He was able to jump on top of him. ZDZ, he's so low. One more punch is all it's going to take so they can steal away his soul. Look to be able to get the stun on top of Forge, trying to be able to survive with the turret to help him back up. Rookie will be able to scare away the mid laner of Rogue Warriors as the Rift Herald is taken by the rest of the members.
Yeah, and you can see this is not a fun game to be an AD carry. Both of them blown up instantly. And it's up to the rest of the team to actually brawl it out. So IG, though, will be the ones that come out on top. We talked about it. Their composition comes online off these 1 items. This is when they are stronger. And you can see in that fight, IG, they just take it completely. And we're going to get a replay here. We're talking about, hey, look, let's maybe try and keep the AD carry safe, but Forge manages to get on towards Wink, and on the back line, neny's able to get directly on towards Betty. So both AD carries taken out of the equation insanely quickly, and then it comes down to, okay, Shun is much stronger right now. You've also got the double kill that's coming through from Rookie, who is tearing people apart with this Heartbreaker, and with the amount of like burst damage that comes through, it's very easy for him to get these resets, full access to a new rotation of cooldowns, burst someone down, rinse and repeat, and work his way steadily through these fights.
He's just going to get scarier and scarier as the game continues as well. That's the problem with having Viego on the other side. You always have to deal with the fact that if you don't shut him down, eventually he just gets completely out of control and feeds off the gold that you yourself have had.
Yeah, and you can see it already, right? Divine Sunder picked up. He'll be working towards that Sterix incredibly quickly, and he just becomes so tanky, so much damage to come out from this champion as well. So he's already going to be a little bit scary coming into this game. Now, IG, we're starting to see them swap things up a little bit, right? Tower gone in top side. They're going to swap neny, but Rookie is going to try and play off in that top side of the map as Wink and Lucas take care of mid. Now, this is where it's like, it's fine just because of how far neny is ahead. IG like playing towards the strengths, but they will need to try and find some way of collapsing both neny and Rookie simultaneously towards this mid lane to force Rogue Warriors off that tower and finish that low health mid lane turret.
Well, I feel like they're actually in a great position to do so. They got the benefit of having it be a cloud rift, so they get extra movement speed in those jungles, and you can already see that neny taking down that tier 1 in the bot lane, more gold for the Sett to keep this massive lead over ZDZ to make it so this Nocturne is essentially a non-issue at the moment.
Oh, Betty, I saw Rookie moving down, and neny's looking.
Oh, shoot! Just looking to see if he can solo style him, get the shield to survive. But man, that was so much damage onto Betty just from Shun alone.
And you can see the panic response from Rogue Warriors as well. Instant TP from Forge is like, we need to just slap a plaster over it, stop the stinking ship. But, you know, IG had already backed off. It doesn't matter. So now IG, with this Rift Herald, are going to start getting this pressure in towards the mid lane. Again, neny pressuring here in the side, Rookie pressuring in that top lane, and you're getting this double charge. A big win for IG, ahead of this dragon again in 30 seconds time.
Exactly. This is great from IG to make sure to utilize their strengths and punish Rogue Warriors. And punish Betty especially. He needs to always be on the Rift and needs to be able to stay so far away from these members that so easily can dive on top of him that if he gets forced out of the Rift like we saw just there, it doesn't matter if you get the kill or not. The damage is gone for Rogue Warriors.
Chocho?
You're
okay?
He's fine.
All right.
He's
He's okay.
I'd have been surprised if he died there. I mean, I've also seen some weirder things happen here in the LPL, but I feel like the bigger statement is the fact that with XiaoHao being spotted out on the top half of the map, trying to steal away the red, they're trading it for a dragon, even if it's only a cloud dragon. Not really what I consider a huge win, unless you can get this pick onto Rookie. Now he's backing off.
I do like what Rogue Warriors are doing, though, right? They're like, look, we're not going to be able to fight. We know we're not as strong as IG right now. So instead, let's trade this for map pressure. Get all this vision on that top side. Allow Forge to get this tier 1. And now again, it's like, okay, we got a bit more gold in towards this LeBlanc, who can threaten Wink in these team fights, can threaten Shun as well. And as well, we can now start to move Forge around the map. Play off of this LeBlanc, who's already working towards her second item. Try and get this mid lane structure down, try and get this bot lane tower as well, and try and answer for some of the pressure that IG are exuding.
I feel like that's going to be a big strength for Rogue Warriors, is how Forge is able to find these flanks. Whenever I see LeBlanc and I see someone, a team that's actually fairly squishy as IG's is, you have that ability to immediately take one member out of a fight so long as you're playing this one immaculately. For Rogue Warriors, they're not down and out that badly in this game. It's about 4,000 they find themselves behind, but that is not by any means insurmountable.
Yeah, and I certainly think for... Ooh, hang on.
Okay, Forge, I talked about
Forge
finding the right angle. You gotta find the right angle, my friend, first. It's not that one. That was not into Nautilus. I'm sure we saw the other day.
It was an acute angle. It was a nice try, all right? It was a cute attempt, but not really able to get much going. Now, what I really want to see from Rogue Warriors is holding off here, maybe not even fighting for this next dragon. As TP behind them, though. Holy.
Looking to see if they can get neny out of here, but neny, they realize that they've got the pick on top of Betty, and Betty is blown up, and the damage onto Forge forced him out of the fight as well. These TPs out of IG taking out the ADC means that they can immediately peel back to the objective.
I mean, this is 20 minutes. They could just go straight towards it. They have a heap of damage, but they're only baiting.
Who needs to go for the Baron when he can have the fight instead, especially underneath the tier 2, the damage onto XiaoHao. He's still alive, but look at the shield in from neny so they can take down the jungler. ZDZ going to be able to get away, even with Rookie stealing away the soul. Who needs the Baron when you have the fight won so easily?
Yeah, now Rogue Warriors taking so incredibly low that you can see IG with the jungler gone from Rogue Warriors are going to peel over. Rookie can teleport back into this play. And as for Rogue Warriors, this is a disaster. Those kills, that TP play from neny has netted IG so much in this game.
And honestly, this is why neny has been such a surprise player for IG. This rookie coming into the summer to fill some big shoes in the Shy. He has been playing out of his mind in so many of these games. That flank was absolutely immaculate.
And I was about to say, you know what? I don't think I even want to see Rogue Warriors fight for this third dragon. I don't think they'll have a choice anymore. I think IG has so much control. They can just push in side lanes now. Rookie one way, neny another. Wink, Shun, Luke is putting pressure in that mid lane. And at any point in time, they just fall back, take dragon, and rinse and repeat. And you can see here, this TP, so well executed from IG. neny gets in. Chocho's trying his damnedest to keep neny off, but there's nothing you can do. We talked about how strong that depth charge is against Aphelios. Gives a perfect follow-up for Lucas. And Shun here again, two-man moonfall on towards the main carries that are still remaining for Rogue Warriors. Just, it's lights out.
And the one being XiaoHao as well, taking out that Rumble, making him a non-factor. These are just, it's great target selection from the side of IG, and this is what we were saying beforehand, that we expect such great things when they're all on the same page. And clearly here, even if it was a little slow out of the gates, they are all on that same page.
Yeah, and now they're trying to turn the page over, get more control over this bottom side, play through neny's strength, and again, just have this opportunity to push in mid. And it looks like IG, honestly, could maybe push in. I don't think they can threaten dive right now, though. We still are only 23 minutes into the game, so it might be a bit far from home.
Yeah, but I also have a feeling with IG that they don't care if they should or not. They might just go ahead and do it. As you can see the damage onto QiuQiu, forcing him underneath the turret so far, even forcing out the equalizer just to be able to clear out some of these minions. June was able to get a couple flashes there. All the while, Rook was able to open up mid lane. They're going to be able to get one to go golden, but the damage onto QiuQiu to take him out immediately. June's still alive, barely, finally taken down by VODS as everyone else jumps onto the back line to be able to immediately haymaker punch him to oblivion. Same with XiaoHao. Nobody left on the side of Rogue Wars, only trading June. Game 1 easily in the bag.
Yeah, and neny was able to tank up so much of that tower. Sterix there, the haymaker as well. He's still looking nice and topped up, and just like that, IG, one slip up from Rogue Warriors, and they close out this game.
This is what we want to see out of IG, how they can play into these teams towards the bottom of the standings, play it so cleanly. And like I said before, even if it was slow out of the gates, once it came to getting the game plan online, they knew exactly how to execute it.
And I think that's one of the most important parts about IG's playstyle. When they look good, it's because of just how decisive they are. We saw it in that last engagement where they just go, right, we have this TP play towards mid lane, just pull the trigger, we're going to be able to follow up. neny and Lucas able to set that fight up perfectly for them. They turn that in towards a dragon, or sorry, in towards a baron, and from that they're able to close out the game. And I think that's always the spectacular thing about IG and why they're sometimes able to pull out these miracle plays, is just that decisiveness in the moment to go, no, this is the make or break moment, let's make that play ours.
I mean, honestly, even pretty much the rinse repeat play after they had the TP play to get the kill onto Betty, they feigned going over to the Baron, they had just cycled back around, Shun jumps in on top of him, then they can get the Baron afterwards. It was really these creative plays that seem so simple when you watch them, but in execution, it takes a team with a lot of confidence to actually go for them.
Yeah, and again, kind of a bit unfortunate for Betty, right? We've seen twice in this game where he takes that step too far forward and IG are instantly on top of him, right? We got that mid lane play, then you look towards that where, actually twice basically in the mid lane where we got the TP, but also just walking through that bot side river, they're able to pick him off as well. So I think for Rogue Warriors, I didn't mind their early game. I think they did relatively okay, but certainly when it got to towards the mid game and looking to turtle and defensively play, that's really where their play started to fall apart.
I mean, just think about that play in the bot lane where they were able to get a couple kills early on. Sure, it was QiuQiu who picked both of them up, but it's a play that's at least a nice idea from Rogue Warriors to be able to stop a lane that might have been a lot more difficult to deal with had it not been for that early conviction from XiaoHao.
Yeah, and look, I liked, as we said, that we saw XiaoHao be more active. ZDZ actually making those TP plays down towards the bottom side. And even the way that we were trading in the early stages, I did enjoy. But unfortunately for them, you can see how quickly IG can crack up in a game when you make that mistake. And it was Betty who went that bit too far forward, ended up getting caught out, and it cost Rogue Warriors here. Now, coming into game number 2, I don't think I want to see Rogue Warriors go towards this late game scaling Aphelios again. I'd rather see them try and match IG with that aggression in the early to mid stages and see if they can actually take it there, because it feels like if you're going to give over champions like Viego, like Shun on towards this Diana, they're going to be able to find those team fight wins. For me, for Rogue Warriors, the way you win this game is by playing through those early stages and trying to punish IG at where they're weakest.
I completely agree with you, because there was definitely the ability to be able to punish them, but unfortunately, like you said, there were some scaling elements that just were not able to come online quickly enough compared to how IG were able to put the gold necessary. And I gotta just even cycle back to neny on that top lane. One, having the most damage in the game, bit surprising for a Sett, but the fact that also they got the kill early on to neny, they had shoved them in for so long to make sure the Sett wasn't going to be as powerful, and it didn't matter. He still was a complete threat that was able to tear apart Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's kind of started from that first fight that we saw at Rift Herald, right? Where neny was able to get full access on towards Betty, killed him as well. So I definitely think Rogue Warriors need to look at how they are choosing their fights in this game, especially when we look towards, as we talked, those scaling aspects coming in. There's no need to fight for these early Rift Heralds. Pick your fights a bit better, and maybe they'll have an easier time coming into game number 2.
We'll see if they're going to be able to do that going into game 2, because game 1 was picked up by IG. They have the early lead. Let's see if they can close it out. Stick around. We'll be right back after the break.